So you want to build a dog fence that's simple to put together, shapeable to the size of your yard, and easy to move when you move or you need to change up your space, because I've got just the solution for you. This is my dog fence, and I get compliments every time a delivery person comes to the house. Let me show you how I built it. This is a metal fence that comes in panels, so you can buy as many as you need, and you put them together by overlapping the edges here and putting the pole into the ground, meaning if you need to move at some point, you can take this fence with you. You do not have to leave it where you put it in. I've reshaped this fence multiple times and everything is still really good with it. But if I were to ever bend one of these poles, I could simply get a new pole and put it in the ground instead of having to buy an entire new fence. So you can shape this to the size of your yard or the shape of your yard, and you can expand it, make it longer, make it shorter, make it wider, whatever you're going to need to suit your dogs. As you can see, I've made some modifications to this fence. This is a pretty good height fence and has kept my dogs where they belong. However, there was one time that Lucy got so excited when she was younger to see our neighbors come out that she was jumping up and down and accidentally went over the fence. She was just trying to say hello, but she did hop the fence. So I have added some panels here. I've added just little tiny garden fences, which I actually got to use in the yard so that if I was growing grass in a section or if something was going on, I need to keep the girls away from a corner, if it was muddy, if I just didn't want them in an area, I would use these tiny things inside of the fenced-in area to keep them away from certain places. I zip tied it to the tops of the fences, and then I just got a garden mesh net. This is not chicken wire, so it's flexible, it's very easy to move. And I just wrapped it all around the fence. Now what I learned was that if I go all the way down to the bottom, it keeps the squirrels out of my fence. So you can see there are some holes here and squirrels could potentially go through, and they do, go through the bottom of this fence. By adding this mesh to it, it prevents the squirrels from coming into my yard and upsetting my dogs and putting acorns everywhere, which then my puppies would find. So adding this on has been really good because it gives us more height, it gives us more stability by putting this right here, but it also keeps the pests out of the yard. And even before I added the mesh, I added solar lights. I attached these right to the poles of my fence and I shine them into my yard so that when we're out in the dark, we have solar lights to light up the space. I have them angled so that the sun is going to be on them for the majority of the day. And so by the time we wake up in the morning, they're almost always still on. Some of them have gone off, or if it's a little bit lighter when we come out, they're off, but these last really, really well. So I've added solar lights to all of the different sides of the fence so that I had them on the longer side. We've got a couple. On the shorter side, we usually have 2 or 3, but we make sure the entire area is lit up so we can easily see it. And at Christmas time, I actually add solar lights in Christmas colors so that all along the edge, we've got them draped for the holidays. Now, we also got really interesting in how we designed this, because originally when I had this fence up, we had it over here. My dogs would come out of the house and we'd have to escort them into the door. We've since changed that, and this is what it looks like now. This is going to be the entrance to where my dogs are coming in. They're coming down a staircase, and on either side, this is where the door is. So as you can see, I can open and close this. It's a little bit warped right now the way we have it in, but this actually hooks right to this panel, and so I have a completely enclosed in fence. But it's not just ending here because I butted this right up to my house. When you buy these fence kits, it usually comes with a door. So if you're doing this research on your own, make sure it has a door. I'm gonna link some good examples for you down below so you can just grab those that are very similar to mine. I then went out and I bought 2 extra doors and I attached them to my staircase. You can butt this right up to your building and then puppies can just come down in a tunnel. So I've created a space for my dogs to just come out the front door, come down the stairs, and go right through this area into the fenced-in area. This way, all I have to do is take this pole out and I can swing this open when I need to get in and out. It makes it very easy to have a safe space, and it keeps things off of my porch and out of my yard while simultaneously allowing me to go in and out without it affecting my puppies. So it makes it very simple. That's just how we did it. It makes it very simple for us to have a very clear strategy on how we're getting the dogs in and out. So my dogs just have to come through the door, down the steps, they go through this tunnel area where I have a door to either side of my house. So no matter where I need to go, I can very easily swing that open, shut it behind me, and go about my business. The dogs just go right through this little tunnel here and out into the yard. And the beauty of this is that it can be anything you need it to be. I needed a wide space for my dogs to play, so I had the entire front yard fenced in, but not down the hill. So that gives them a pretty flat area to be playing. And then I built it up because I have dogs that are rambunctious, dogs that are jumping, and dogs that like to play with balls that sometimes go out of our fence, which is another benefit to that mesh. By zip tying mesh all the way around the fence, I have a now protective barrier so that the rubber balls are not going through the holes in the fence, which means I don't have to constantly be running into the yard or down the driveway to get the balls that used to go out. It also keeps the squirrels out and a lot of the wildlife out of our yard, giving us a much cleaner space for my dogs to be in that I don't have to fear they're going to find an acorn and eat it. This is going to be really nice because when I move, when I do things, I can pull all this up, I can take it with me so that the money I invested goes with me. It doesn't have to stay with the house. And because this is a dark fence color, it's much harder to see. If you're driving by, it's a lot harder to see that than something like a white picket fence. So this doesn't give you privacy, but it does give you security. And this is going to be a really easy way for you to transition your dog into having their own space without you having to worry too much. And even better, if something happens to some of the panels, all you have to do is replace it, not the entire thing. Recently, we had a really bad snowstorm and the trees came down on the fence and completely crumpled this corner. We were able to mostly bend it back into shape, and we will be able to replace just a couple of panels if that's something we're going to need to do. So this is going to be functional for you financially because you can take it with you, you can replace it easily. If something breaks, you just have to replace that one singular part, and you can expand it however you need to suit your dog's needs. And later today, I am going to be adding to this fenced-in area because I do a lot of dog content creation right inside of my yard. So I am going to be adding in different features to help me film better so that I can clip my cameras up, so that I can be in my content, so that I can have multiple angles without having to worry about me being responsible for shooting through those cameras every single time. And I'm going to be bringing you behind the scenes on this as well. If you've liked today's episode and you want to get your hands on any of this fencing equipment, I'm going to link that down below. You can drop your questions, and keep in mind, your size dog may require a different height fence, so be mindful of that when you are going through these links as well. We'll see you in the upcoming episodes.